All right, this is DJ Murphy. I'm the editor-in-chief of ISC News. I am here on the floor at ISC West. I'm with Mike Matta. Mike is the CEO of Solink. Mike, welcome. Thank you for being at the show. Thank you for being here with us. Just start off a little bit about Solink, what you guys are doing, and what you're hoping to accomplish here.
Yeah, so Solink is a cloud-based physical security company. Company's been around for several years now. Really, the focus was on how do we take this legacy infrastructure that lives at the edges, cameras, sensors, data, and how do you unify that in the cloud? A lot of our customers have, our first customers really started as the ability of, it was a restaurant, you had an operator that was in the store, and they were shackled to their store, they couldn't leave. And so part of what Solink was about how do you manage your business without physically being inside of your business? And so that transition of taking on-premise, being able to move it to cloud, really opened the pathways of how can video and other sensors that live inside of the physical security infrastructure be used beyond just security. And so the genesis of the company really in the early days was about how do you take video, how do you watch it remotely, how do I manage my business, and then we started tying into other aspects of the data, other aspects of the business. So for example, at a retailer, tying into the point of sale, or tying into inventory, or tying into labor, check-in, check-out, and be able to take all of that data to live inside of a single ecosystem. And so, for example, a lot of our customers are restaurants, retailers. There is a known shrink that they manage. It's typically anywhere from 1% to 3% of your business, of your top sales. And then what Solink does is that by integrating all these components in your business, we identify where there is risk and leakage in that shrink. And so being able to manage it and be able to cater it so that you can tackle it and control it. And ultimately, we've seen that as customers do that and they're bringing all this data into Solink, they can help drive their profitability up.
Okay.
So that's kind of the two pieces is the push to cloud and the push on being able to bring all of your data inside of the infrastructure and be able to manage your business through data and video.
And that must be a message that resonates. The ability, I mean, you're at a security show, yep, obviously, but being able to apply those systems to other parts of the business, it must really resonate with the folks you talk to.
Yeah, and I think people often think of it as going beyond the security use case. Yep. We see it as elevating security.
Okay.
And being able to take the infrastructure and the rich data set that lives inside of security and being able to cater it to the rest of the enterprise. Security and often security teams are kind of in the bowels of the enterprise. They're in the basements, and it's not an overly glorified role, but the reality is they're protecting the assets of that enterprise. And they're protecting it not only from losses, but they're protecting the opportunity to be able to accelerate growth. And we see that in security practitioners today is that they don't just want to be inside of their four walls, they want to be able to partner with the rest of their enterprise. Yep. And I think that's the bigger opportunity for security is not just to be confined inside of the bowels of security, but to really be part of the story at a macro level of how do you affect change and growth in the business.
What do you expect the practitioners here to be most focused on this week?
I mean, I think there's kind of two, big topics. One is cloud. We've seen this migration of cloud happen. It's happening at an accelerated clip. Today, about 5% of all cameras that are deployed are connected to cloud. That's a very small number relative to kind of other industries, but that is growing at 70 to 80% a year. So in the next 5 years, there will be more cloud-connected cameras that are easily accessible, easily integratable out there. That's a given. That's not a hypothesis. That is happening. We're seeing that in the industry. The other trend that's obvious is the move to AI. And AI is a big buzzword. What does it mean? The way I kind of apply it to the practitioner is today a lot of security practitioners are focused on triaging noise. We hear a lot of, you're getting a lot of false positives, and how do you manage those false positives? And the volumes are going up. But what happens when instead of 95% false positives and fighting 5% signals, you go from 95% signals and 5% false positives? You start elevating the skill set of a security practitioner. You're not just kind of managing and triaging, you're focusing on acting. And that happens with AI being smart enough to reason and make a judgment of it's not just a person, but it's a person with a hammer and they're going through a window, and then the ability to act, to remove the human from having to take the next actions, being the human being the escalation point. And so I think when you have systems that can reason and act, and that is part of the promise with AI and agents, as you have systems that can do that, the skill set of the security practitioner gets elevated. And that is really kind of where, as to use a Canadian term, where the puck is going, and where we're excited about the opportunity with AI. So I'd say those are kind of the two big focus points: cloud and AI.
And judging by the number of solutions on the floor here that have AI integrated, then that message seems to be getting through to maybe an industry that might lag in their acceptance or understanding of technology like that.
Look, I think we saw this a couple of years ago. Everyone said they were cloud, and the reality is there's a lot of fake clouds.
Right.
I think the same thing is going to happen in this cycle with AI. The difference now versus then is that everything, all the technology changes are happening a lot faster. So we used to talk about Moore's Law, where technology change would double every 18 months. What we're seeing now is technology changes are doubling every 4 months. And so you're having a 4x effect on Moore's Law. And so the pace of change is going to create a big separation between those that are just using it as a soundbite versus those that are truly applying it and applying the foundation of what it means in the future. And that separation is going to get bigger and bigger and bigger because they're not taking advantage of the speed at which technology is changing.
All right. Well, Mike, thank you for being here. I appreciate you taking a few minutes to talk to us, and hope you enjoyed the week.
Yeah, pleasure. Thank you.
Thanks.
Appreciate it.